Hello and welcome to our October SendMyAd Tips and Tricks training webinar. We are going to cover a few different topics today that we hope you'll find useful. We're trying to show you some new features today, things that you may not be aware that SendMyAd does. One of those is that we process digital ads, and we'll give you an overview of that, show you some configuration, just so that you see what is possible. There's more to it than what we'll cover today, but it's meant to be an introduction for you to a whole area of SendMyAd that you may not even have experienced. We're going to show you very briefly a brand new feature. It's a billing dashboard. It's kind of a handy way to quickly look at your recent bills, in addition to the reports that you may be accustomed to downloading. And we're going to talk about ad reservations. That's one of those features that's been around since day one in SendMyAd, but there's some newer features you may not be aware of or haven't tried, and we'll take you through some of those things and hopefully just clear up some questions that come up typically with ad reservations. Just a little housekeeping here. There's a Zoom button in the upper left of your screen in GoToWebinar if you'd like to expand this to cover your full screen. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask those in the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll deal with those as we come to them at the end. All right, let's move on to our demo. Okay, let's talk about digital ads. I'm logged in as a publisher, but of course advertisers will have these available to them once you've configured it. I'm going to show you where these actually appear. There's two areas. There's a digital ad campaigns and then a sub item in this menu called digital ads. It's two ways of looking at the same list of digital ads. So unless you've had digital ads turned on for you, this is an option that we have to enable. You won't even know that that's there. Your menu may just show print ads, but this is there and available to turn on. Now let's show you what it's like to send an ad. Because I have all of our ad types turned on for my demo publisher here, I have a chooser screen. That's user configurable. This little pre-screen doesn't have to appear, and you can turn that off right there. That's a user preference. Anyway, let's go to digital ads. The form looks pretty similar to what you're used to with print ads. I'll show you a little bit later that is totally configurable. All right, let's fill in a campaign. And a campaign is just simply a way to group together ads. As you'll see, we can upload in this same form multiple ads at once. Okay, there are some optional fields. I'll just skip those. I did want to point out that there's a custom field here. We'll talk about that a little later. I can now choose which placements I want here, and I have a list of image, rich media, and text ads. Each of those options is configurable, and I'll show you how that's done after we go through the process. So let's pick an image. Again, there are form items here that can be added or required or made optional. Okay, and as I said, we can have multiple ad types here in our single upload form. Okay, let's upload. Here's a banner ad for the image type, and let's pick a flash ad as well. Okay, it checks to see that I've selected the right type of ad. In this case, we're accepting a JPEG, GIF, PNGs, and then Flash file format for the rich media. There's my upload all ads button. Let's do that. And you can see it goes in sequence and uploads those ads. Now, what it does here is it processes the ads that you've sent individually, but it gives us a composite view that is the campaign view. So to show you where that is, if we come back to our campaigns view in the left menu, you'll see here's the one that I just created. This is a really helpful view because you can, for instance, view the individual ad info right here in this window. You don't have to hop back and forth between viewing the individual ad and the campaign. So if I click that, I can see that my image ad, that went through okay. There's no problems found. And it will finalize that for me, which basically means it can be delivered. It can be given a digital receipt like we're used to seeing. Now, the Flash ad, that has a problem, and it tells me that the dimensions don't match what my spec, my ad specifications were. So that's a problem that I'll need to address. And with digital ads, of course, we don't have like the trim tool that we're used to seeing in print ads. You know, basically most errors, you just have to simply revise the ad. And so we give you that access right there. So let me take a look at it. This was a previous one that I did. If I view this ad, you can see that I can download my final ad. I've got an ad receipt, just like I would with a print ad. I can view any tags in the file. There's my click-through URL that I supplied earlier. Now, we provide the same view of the ads in a different way, which is we have a list view or thumbnail view of the ads, but not grouped together by campaign. You can still filter by campaign, much like you would with a publication or an issue in print ads. But this way you can actually see everything combined, whereas the campaigns view really wants to group those in the way that you uploaded them. Okay, and of course campaigns can have their own metadata, their own information. So over here, I can supply that information, and that becomes something that can be tracked and searched. All right, let's talk about what can be configured and what the various options are here. That's done, like most things, under your company profile. So let's go to our digital ad settings, which again is a whole area that you may not even see if you don't have this enabled yet. There's the manage upload form items, which you are accustomed to seeing with print ads, but we of course have a different form for this type of ad. We've separated those out so that you can completely control what that form looks like. There's the things that you're familiar with. It's you know, that we allow you to show a field or not, and then require it or not. So these are all digital ad specific things. You can force them to group the ads by campaign, and product URL, product text, typical things that you would expect for digital ads. Now, there's one thing that is kind of a hybrid of the print concept and the digital ad concept, and that's an option we added a little later in the lifetime of our digital ad support, and that's to show the publication selection on the upload form. Some publishers want to and think of digital ads as being associated with a print publication, including an issue. And so there may be like a bundle deal with the advertising. They get a print ad and digital impressions as well. And so if you do that, you can show that publication selection, require it or not, and then also make that a filter on that digital ads list. So just like I don't have it enabled. So previously I was filtering by campaign. I can also make it filterable by the publication and the issue if I prefer to do that. Okay, so if that's how your workflow is, we support that. Runtime is an option that very often is required. I didn't happen to do it here, but that's just when you're able to, when you require the runtime per ad placement. And we support multiple runtime spans as well. Okay. Earlier, I pointed out that there was a custom field 1 in my upload form, and that's where we configure this here. You'll notice that this is, again, it's a digital ad specific custom information. It is totally separate from your print ad settings. So just like up in here, you've got custom metadata. That is separate. So okay, now the most important configuration is done here in the digital media profiles. You can think of this, it's kind of like your publication setup in the print ad world. So you can have multiple ones of these. That's no problem. In fact, you may have good reasons for maintaining separate ones, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But this should be vaguely reminiscent of the publication setup. Give it a name, of course. A displayed materials contact. And what we do have is we have the concept of pre-flighting for digital ads, and not for all types. Some digital types it doesn't make sense to do any sort of pre-flighting, but we do have a light pre-flight for images and rich media. And those are controlled in that pre-flighting tab, just like with print. And you set your default profiles here for this media profile. Okay. Let's, since we talked about that, let's skip over to pre-flighting and let's take a look at image. Here you can set, what we're pre-flighting for. Again, you can have multiple types of these profiles if you wish. We set a maximum size, and we have a tolerance for checking the dimensions. So the ad specs are set up to be a certain number of pixels in width and height, and we can have a kind of a grace value for that. So if it's a couple pixels off, we can let things pass. If you want to be strict, you just set it to 0, and it's got to be exactly the dimensions that are defined in the ad unit setup. File resolution, again, you may have a certain thing that you recommend. It might be 72, it might be 144, 96, whatever you want. You can set that resolution to be very strict and say it's got to be between 72 and 72, or give a little wiggle room there if you need to. So, or set it wide open and just accept, cap it at a maximum resolution. When we are sent GIFs, we can set the maximum duration. So if we want to cap it a certain number of seconds, we can do that. We can also specifically allow an infinite animation loop. So we check that information in the GIF. And then finally, we say what we accept as far as image file types. So for these types of banner ads that we want to accept, we're saying that we'll take JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs. And you can turn those on and off as meet your needs. The Flash type of profile has a whole separate set of items here. Again, you've got maximum file size, elapsed time. We also can check frame rates and the Flash version. We have some specific things for click tags, and we can say whether or not we accept the a preview to go along with the Flash file. We don't automatically extract a Flash preview, and so if somebody wants to upload a JPEG, a static file to represent that in the portal, they can do that. You can require it or not. I'm not requiring this one. And then same thing here. We say what types of file formats we're going to allow here, and I'm just taking Flash ads, so Flash video and the SWF. Okay. Ad units, these are the same things as you consider, ad specs or ad sizes in the print world. There's an easy way to just import the full list of IAB specs. You can just select that here and it will auto-create a bunch of specs for you. Or you can manually put these in. You can enable and disable just like you would with print. Give it a name, the type that it is. It's an image, and our pre-flight profile. Again, the default profile is always available, but if you've created different types that you want to apply to different ad units, here's where you'd tie those together. Generally, your biggest setting, especially with images, is the dimensions. So you add your dimensions. For reference, we have this convert to IAB standard, and you can simply select, if you're not sure exactly what the dimensions are, but the standard name, you can just select that here. Flash ad, again, it's dimensions and that same convert. And again, you can select the pre-flight profile. So that's all pretty standard, pretty easy to set up. Once you have that all configured in here and the options turned on, it's available for your advertisers to upload to. Okay, and those, like I said, those can be delivered. If you go back to your company profile and go to delivery destinations, you can see that we have a digital ad file type delivery, and you can, have those go to the, the place that you need to go, separate from your print ad deliveries. So anyway, we try to make it a very familiar workflow, but make it specific for digital ads where we need to. There's one other setting I wanted to show you here. It's a newish thing. Even if you're using digital ads with us already, you might not have checked this out, and that's upload groups. This was something that we added not too long ago. What you do is you create a new upload group, and really what this is, the way that you can think about this is a way to create a canned group of almost like pre-configured upload form for what you want to accept. So basically you can say that, hey, I'm going to create a campaign, and in that campaign, I don't want the user telling me what ads they're going to send. I want the form to tell them I'm expecting a banner ad and I'm expecting a flash ad. Okay? And you can make those required or not, but the idea is that we try and make it easier for the user and be more sure that you're getting what you need for a particular campaign. So you just simply add an upload group, give it a name and a code, and then you can select here from add item, and it may be that you're taking two variants of the banner file, and you have a flash ad. So let's require our flash ad, and let's have one optional banner ad. And then if you want to use this feature for this media profile, you select Enable Upload by Groups. This is why I said you may want to have different media profiles, because you may have certain cases where a user just has free reign to send you whatever they need for their digital files. And you may have cases where you want them to select this kind of canned, pre-configured configuration. So now that I've enabled that, let me go back and show you what the difference is in the upload form. We'll go to Send Files again, Digital Ads. And you can see that because I have turned that on, I have a digital ads profile. And I'm going to go to my upload group. And here you can see I have an image type that's required, I have an image type that's not required, and I have a flash ad that's required. Okay. So it's all really about just trying to simplify the user choices there, and to be sure that if you've decided you're going to have a certain type of campaign, you actually get the files that you're expecting. So it's hopefully makes your life a little easier there. We have advanced search. As I said before, the metadata that you saw over here is searchable. And you can also search the digital ads with specific information that belongs to that type. Okay. So we hope that you find this useful. Obviously, this is newer territory than print ads, and we're always improving this feature. So if there are things that you don't see in here, just let us know. If you'd like a trial of this, let your salesperson know. There's more here than what I've shown you. There's different types, but I've shown you the common ones. And we can certainly talk about those more exotic types in future webinars. Okay, let's move on to a very quick new feature, and that's our billing dashboard. This is something we just added in our most recent update. It requires an option for us to enable. You probably have it enabled already, but there's a group right that has to be turned on. I've created a billing group and added my user to that. And it has the right can see billing reports. Okay, so whatever user handles typically pulling down a billing report every month for you should have that, and then you should see this. If you don't see this tab and you have that right, let us know. We may need to just turn on an option for you. Okay, this is very, very simple, and that's the idea. You've always had the ability to go to your reports and select a billing report, but that requires you to download it in Excel and look at it. This is meant to just give you a quick overview and to allow you to compare quickly from month to month. So here again, we go to our July billing, and we can see that this publisher has some ads, and it gives us the total, and it breaks it down by what type of ads those were. This publisher also has virtual publisher enabled, and so I have specific information for that as well. You may just see one section here for SendMyAd. But this allows me to very easily flip back and forth and compare as the month closes. We default to the latest closed month, and so I can go to September. That's been completed, and now I can download my bill. And I can do that right from here, View Bill Details, and that will just download it for me. And it's the same report that you're used to seeing in Excel. It's exactly that report. So it's just a different way for you to get to it. And it allows us to let you flip back and forth easily and compare. So it's meant to be just a simple, quick overview. All right. Again, let us know if you don't see it after you've verified that you have the billing reports right enabled. Okay, we are going to finish our webinar with an overview of ad reservations. And the first thing I should say is that we haven't been consistent in what we've named this feature. It started out, we always called it, I believe we called it insertions, and then ad reservations, and then materials request. And as new customers have come in, they've had their own terms for this. Right now, we call it in the actions menu reserve insertion. But the truth is, we internally call it ad reservations, and you may have your own name for it as well. But it's all the same thing, and eventually we'll go in and consolidate all the naming so it's all the same. But as you can see, it says here, create a new ad space reservation. So it's all the same thing, and it's just a way for us to create an insertion order. An ad reservation is just a placeholder for the fact that I'm expecting an ad from someone. It's going in this issue and publication, and I need to just keep track of it, but I don't have the materials yet. That's the key thing. I know I've got an ad coming. I've got a contract for this thing, but I don't have the materials. Okay, and that can help because you may need to start notifying the advertiser or the agency that, hey, you've got this ad scheduled and I need the materials. So send it in. And so we trigger emails based on this action. A brand new thing is we now have ad space reservations for digital ads. Okay, but print ads is typically what this is used for. Okay, I'm going to start this off by selecting my publication and issues. Again, you can have multiple issues if your publisher allows multiple issues per ad. You select the size specification. So let's say that this is going to be a full page ad. You select the color profile and the advertiser name. You can control some of this again in your company profile, and I'll show you that after we go through this. Okay, we have some optional fields that can be enabled. Sales rep, I'll just leave that alone. This is a really important one, the company user that will send the ad. And you can see that you can't proceed until you've selected this. Very often, you know who is going to be sending this, and so you just select that here. However, we do have this option here for choosing from invited users. Okay. And so if you've got advertisers that you have invited but have not yet accepted the invitation to create a SendMyAd account, you can select that here. You can search, okay? Or what often happens is you just may not be sure who exactly is going to be sending this. You don't know either the user email. You don't know if it's going to be an advertiser or an agency. You're just not sure. So we allow you to set this option that we're going to assign that later. Okay, and then you can just leave that blank, and that's fine. And you can now proceed with the rest of this. So if you have a custom booking number, maybe you have an external system that assigns those, you can paste that in. These are all optional things. They're typically things that the advertiser will supply when they're uploading the form and uploading their ad, and they can still do that. But I'm going to leave those blank here and let them do that. But you could certainly pre-supply that if you needed. Okay. Again, some of this is custom information. I'm just going to let that go and create my reservation. And here it is. It appears in my print ads list. Now, this form is what I see as a publisher, and it's also what the advertiser sees. I didn't assign an advertiser at this point, and so down here the context says that no one's been set. But if you do select an existing advertiser, they'll have received an email already, and the email would just simply say, such and such a publisher is requesting materials for this ad. There'll be a direct link. They can click that link, and it will take them right here to this form. And then what they'll do is typically just add materials. And that add materials, it's just a simple uploader. So let's take a look here. They only have to fill out required things. Again, I supplied the advertiser already. Headline and product, I opted not to, but they can supply it if they wish. Okay. And they just need to select their proof options, whatever you've made available as a publisher. Okay, finally, let's add our materials. Again, it's just the simple uploader. And all this is doing is it's just like our regular print ad upload form. It's just some things have already been set. We already have an ID in the system. You've been able to track this and search for it if you need it. If you're using Virtual Publisher, you're able to assign it on a Virtual Publisher plan. Again, it's that placeholder just letting you know that you've got an ad reserved, but there are materials to come. While that's processing, let's make another one of these, and I'll show you the other very common thing that we do with ad reservations. And again, we'll just, let's pick someone this time. Okay, there's my reservation. And this time what I've done, I did that so fast, let me go back. I just scrolled down to merge existing materials. So what happens sometimes is you've created a reservation, whether you've done that through a Virtual Publisher and importing like a CSV file, a data file that has, automatically creates ad reservations for you. Or you may have some third-party integration with SendMyAd where we've created reservations, or you may just simply have gone through your list of, these are the contracts I have, this is what's going to run in the issue, and you've made reservations. Meanwhile, your advertiser may have ignored your email. They didn't see it. They didn't connect the two. They just went in and uploaded their ad. It wasn't associated at all with your reservation. But that's okay, because you can come in later and merge an existing ad with your reservation. So this will show you things that match the ad size and that have been completed. So let's merge these two. And what it does, it's very important that you see that it's your reservation is on the left side. This is taken, it's kind of the master, okay? Because that might have your most current information that came from you, from your systems. For example, the booking number is often very important. You know that, the advertiser doesn't have that. But there are things where, maybe you typed in some information that the advertiser didn't want. They know what the advertiser is, the headline. It might be more important to them. So you can just select which of those bits of data come from which file. Okay. Let's now merge those. Gives us a warning telling us that the history and information are going to be combined. The original ad, it's going to be archived. Okay, so it's still in the system, it's still there for reference, but we're essentially merging the data and we're moving, copying the materials to this reservation that we had here. So you can see we picked up the headline and advertiser from the ad materials that the advertiser gave us. And our booking number, though, was what we had from our original reservation. Okay. And if you look here in our history, you'll see that it tracks this item. My ad space was reserved today. We sent the request email, and the reservation of materials were merged. Okay. And then also to help you, we can show under the General tab that we have merged data. And if we click the link, it will take us to that ad that was the source for the materials. And even though it's been archived, it still gives us the history and all the all the information we might need to go back to the advertiser and talk to them about what they uploaded. Okay. All right, so it's pretty simple. Merging is something that it's there. Not a lot of people are familiar with how it works. The important thing is just to remember that you want your final ad, you want that on the left side of that merging interface. If it's not in the right place, then you may need to approach that from a different place. And what I'm talking about here is the actions. There's an advanced action called merge existing reservation. So if you come into here, that would allow us to merge with something else, like another ad. Let's say somebody uploaded two versions of the ad. Maybe one was a revision of the other. This will let you keep merging. Like I said, the important thing is to be sure that the data that you want to be final is on the left side. That's what we call the source reservation. So that becomes more important when you're dealing with third-party integration. Data tracks is an example that we integrate with, where you often have to keep migrating materials from your advertiser to an ad that began as a reservation, because that reservation is the key to everything with the integration in the system. So, okay, there are just a couple quick things to show you, and that's in the company profile. There are some settings that we can control for the reservation form. That's in your print ad settings, ad upload form, manage upload and reservation form items. So here's where we say that we want to require the advertiser field, show it or not, all of those things that you're used to seeing with the print ad upload form. And then finally, in the templates down at the bottom, there are a couple of email templates that are important. And those are the ad request email and ad request invitation email. Again, here's another case where our nomenclature doesn't match in other places, but those are, not to confuse you, those are the templates we want for saying that, to the advertiser, we're requesting materials for a certain publication, and it gives the information that you need, and then the path to the ad, so that they can just click directly, be taken to that reservation form, and supply their new materials. Well, that does it for our presentation. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. There is looks like one question about digital ads. If you go to the company profile, the question is, can you make it so that advertisers can't see digital ads because you have internal staff that handles the digital ads. And that actually, we do have like a global ability to turn that on or off for the advertiser. And that's right here at the top of the digital ad settings. There's this enable advertiser access. So, if you just have internal staff that's handling those, you can do that. There's also an option that's not quite as drastic, but in the media profile, there's something that allow advertisers to upload to this profile. So if you, by profile, let's say you have 3 or 4 different media profiles, then you can you can just select ones that the advertisers aren't allowed to see. So if you have one that you do for just internal use, you can turn those on and off. All right, well, that is going to do it for our demo today, and we hope that you found this useful. If you have any topics for November for any of our future webinars, both for SendMyAd or Virtual Publisher, we'd love to hear it. So if you want to let your sales representative know, or you could email us at support, and we'd be happy to include those in future webinars. Thank you very much for attending today. Have a good afternoon.